Hey everyone, Corey Swiergosz here for Slap News, and I am here with the King of Kings, Ryan Phillips. How you doing, my man?
Hey man, I'm doing good. How are you, Corey? It's good to be here.
I'm doing incredible. Thank you for joining me here. The sport of slap is still relatively new in North America. Obviously, it's been in Europe for a couple of years and some other organizations taking place in, throughout the United States. But let's go into your backstory a little bit and what brought you to Power Slap.
Yeah, man. Well, I am a big fan of Slapfight Championships by JT Tilly and also a YouTuber named Moist Critical. And I started really getting into it from those two sources. They were posting a lot about Slapfight and really fanboying out about it. And JT Tilly's Slapfight Championships was the number one. It was pretty much the only one in town from what I was seeing. But early on for me, I knew I was tough and I could take a punch. And my friend and I would actually chin check each other every now and then, going out to the bar, just having a romp um, anywhere we go. So I knew I was bred for this, and I just wanted to give it a go.
Nice, nice. So let's talk about the process and kind of how whether you applied for the show or whether someone from the UFC reached out to you. How did that whole thing go, and how did you get selected for the show?
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that actually knew one of the producers from The Ultimate Fighter, and they had a conversation where he brought up that he was looking for slap fighters, and he knew I was looking to get into it because I actually applied for slap fight championships, but it's just came about that Power Slap wanted someone, and he gave him my name. I got a text message from the UFC, and I said, "Hey, let's go! No hesitation. This is what I'm bred for, and I'm ready to go, baby."
Nice, nice. So I mean, obviously that was back in March of last year. Did you do any like slap specific training before, actually going to Vegas for the first time for the tryouts?
Yeah, actually, I did because, like I said, I was looking to get into the slap fight championships.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, me and JT, we couldn't work out our schedules, and I wasn't able to compete. But I still never, gave up the dream. I still, I slap the bag. I have a couple of few unique trainings that I do to increase my palm conditioning and strength. And also just getting back into lifting weights in general because COVID happened. I gained some COVID weight, the COVID-19, 19 pounds. But I had to lose that, and no, it all intertwined into slap training for the March event.
Nice, nice. Let's talk about, man, the first time you met Dana White. What was that experience like?
It's actually pretty funny. It was during the face off for me and One Eyed Wolf. And I was so hyped up, man. I was like, man, what am I gonna do on the face off to separate me and Wolf? And I was like, man, I'm just gonna act angry. I'm gonna look tough, and I'm gonna go up there, and I'm just gonna go at Wolf, right? But Dana was there, so it was like, man, I want to shake Dana's hand and say what's up, but at the same time, I want to be rough and tough. So I kind of like grabbed Dana's hand, shook it real hard, and then I got right into Wolf's face. But I was so hyped up that I actually have to remind myself that Dana was actually there. It's
Awesome, man.
crazy.
Awesome.
But hey,
Awesome.
after meeting him though a couple of times, shaking his hand and getting a few words in with him, that guy is A plus, man. He is a good person, and I look forward to getting to know him even more.
Amazing, amazing. Well, yeah, let's talk about the one eye wolf, Rob Perez.
Oh
Obviously, he
yeah.
was your first opponent. What did you think about that guy before you end up squaring up in the for the match with him?
Yeah. Well, when I first met him, he was real quiet, and I thought he was kind of, out of his element because he was just so quiet. Big dude, but just so quiet. It just didn't seem like he didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But once he opened up, I could see the guy's a character and an absolute animal. And then I got to know him more and more. And then our slap fight happened, and you know what? We're rivals, but at the end of the day, I hope his ass gets back in the power slap because right now he's not in it, and
Yeah.
I want that rematch, man. And maybe his aim will be a little bit better. He won't, hit me in the neck this time and foul me, but we're gonna get back to it. Hopefully, he gets back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the showmanship, the entertainment aspect, obviously both of you guys left an impression, on the UFC and the guys that are editing it. Obviously, you guys were the first fight of the first episode. So they want to come out with a bang and they paired you two together. How much do you think that entertainment aspect plays into the sport of slap right now?
For me, I looked at it and I was like, how entertaining is it for two guys to go up there and slap each other? If you don't get the KO, you're just basically up there taking hits and giving hits. So I feel for me, it's a major part of what we do. This is a sport, but you also want to be entertaining. You want to have the engagement with the crowd. You want to grab attention. You want to separate yourself. It's you on that stage, no one else. So you got to make sure that people know you and remember you. So I think it's very important.
Awesome. Awesome. I mean, you seem to be a true pros pro, professional on how you, presented yourself, so far up into the show. Maybe you get into the liquor afterwards. I'm not too sure what happens,
Right.
but up until this point, I mean, you're definitely handling yourself really well. How do you think that is going to set you up for your career and the other opportunities that open up for you in slap going forward?
Yeah, I think this is a good question. Basically, the way I'm handling myself is being myself. So, I do have a day job, and that might play into it because I'm trying to toe the line and make sure that my company is still happy with me. At the same time, they all know I'm on this show, and they all know I'm a slap fighter. So, I think that plays into it. But I just saw I am the wild violence machine, man, and sometimes that comes out. I think you'll see that on the show, but you're just gonna have to tune in every Wednesday night on TBS, 10 p.m.
For sure. So they didn't show the coin toss on air. However, I'm assuming you won and you elected to swing first. You selected a right three count, which seems to be very, very common amongst many of the competitors so far. Right three seems to be the count of choice. Was there any rationale into that?
Um, I like to take it slow. I don't want to rush anything. I feel like once I feel my body start to twist more and you start loosening it up, so having those two extra pumps in before you actually strike kind of loosens up your torso and you can pull back further for a more deeper swing, in my opinion. But that's just me. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the first swing you had at Rob. You seem to connect with it pretty well on the jaw. Didn't really phase him too much. Talk us through that attempt and what you thought after you hit him.
Yeah, I honestly believe that my slap would have definitely taken Rob out. I thought he wouldn't be able to take it. Not many people do, and previously in other fights, street fights or sparring events, people wouldn't be able to handle the right. And I know how to throw it, feet planted or not. So, but he took it like a man. Immediate respect right from there, buddy. I smiled. You see me on the video. I smiled and I started nodding my head in approval.
Mm-hmm.
And that at that moment, I'm like, man, I know I'm in for a fight, and that's what I like. I like wars. I like just putting on a show and just going at them and being remembered for that fight. It's cool to see people get knocked out, but I think it's even cooler to see the people that can take it and give it back and just go on for those rounds. So
Absolutely.
it was awesome, man. The experience in and of itself, it couldn't be replicated, and having a special person like the one-eyed wolf up there, a monster in and of itself, it's crazy, man. It was awesome, great time.
Yeah. So I mean, after you hit him, he gets into a showboating nature. Did that amp you up to get into character as well, or did you view it as a sign of disrespect at all?
No, man, definitely. We were definitely riffing off each other. He was trying to one up me. I was trying to one up him. Unfortunately, I was a little bit rocked because I was taking him pretty hard, and he said he was pretty rocked himself. And half the time that he was doing his yum 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 chomping bit was because his jaw hurt after I hit him.
Oh, hilarious. Nice,
Yeah, that's
nice.
and it was like it was awesome, man. It was just that's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
For my first slap fight match, for being in front of the big stage on the big stage in front of big people like Dana White, the Fertitta brothers, just amazing, like just amazing people that have accomplished so many things in their life. To have that moment to show off and just kill it. We did it, man. There was no losers in that match. It was just a
Nice.
badass match, a legendary match, like Dana White said.
For sure. So I mean, the first slap that he delivers to you, you take a square on the chin, doesn't move you, big smile, show your teeth afterwards.
Yeah.
How'd that feel? And what did it do to your psyche after taking that first one?
When I took the hit, you see me smile, and the smile was actually more or less me coming to. That was like a trigger coming on. I have to get to a certain point to A, not feel pain, and B, get stronger. Being someone who's a human, fighting it to me is you just have to go into an animalistic nature, and that at that moment I went into it. And all I wanted to do is the demon showed his face, and there was just no feeling or anything from that point on in that mindset. Killer be killed, and I'm the king of kills, so I was ready to lay it down and put Wolf 6 feet, baby.
Nice, nice. Have you ever been hit harder than that before, or was that the hardest you've ever been hit up to this point?
There was a time I've never been knocked out. If I see a punch coming or I see a slap coming, I've never been knocked out. But there was one time that I was in a mosh pit and there was a big 300-pound guy that just ran into the mosh pit and just blindsided me right in the back of the head and laid me out. So that had to have been the hardest punch I've ever taken because I don't remember it.
Wow, man, crazy,
Ain't
crazy,
it?
crazy. That's funny, man. Moving on to your second slap on the Wolf. I mean, you definitely, did more damage to him that time. Took a step back. Did you feel like you could knock this guy out, or did you feel like, he was just gonna be one, tough son of a bitch that you just wouldn't be able to get around?
Um, he's someone. When I hit him the first time, I knew he was a different breed of person, and that it made me go even harder, and it made me want to strike harder. So in my head, yeah, I thought I could knock this guy out. I thought I was gonna blow this dude's chin off, set him down, give him a little nap, and be victorious, get that check.
Mm-hmm.
But to be completely honest with you, I'm glad it didn't go that route because, like I said, he's a showman. I'm a showman. We were putting on for the crowd. There's not many people get a chance of this magnitude to show off and make a face for themselves. So I'm glad it went all 3 rounds. I'm glad that we both showed up, and I had a great dance partner in the One-Eyed Wolf. That dude is a character. Woof.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So his second slap wallowed you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Was that just a compounding effect, or was the connection that much greater?
Well, the second one, you can't really see it, but Wolf definitely got all neck on that one, and
Okay.
it was a big time club. But he's so fast that it's like I watched it over and over again, and I couldn't tell. But in the house they showed it back, and they actually had a clip where it was in slow motion, and it was just all my neck, and I had a bruise days
Mm-hmm.
after to where it was just a big ring around my Adam's apple of just
Crazy.
blood. And but no, yeah, I was super rocked with that one. That one, any lesser man or anyone besides the king probably would have been down for the count on that one. But I held on.
Yeah.
I held the baton up high, went back into battle, brother, and continued on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you definitely picked up speed after that one. I mean, you didn't take your full 30 seconds. Um, it looks like your beard's a little shorter now than it was at those trials. Do you think the beard helps absorb some of the blow, or do you think it throws off a little bit of the aim of your competitor at all?
The aim, yes, I will agree with the aim.
Okay,
I do believe that the beard does hide the chin a little bit, and you do have to find it. The good thing is that you do line up with your hand, and you could put that there and feel around
sure.
and find the chin there. As far as any sort of like protection, no, there's no protection. I saw an article come out saying that it helps absorb 25 to 35% of the force from a punch. Does anyone want to step up to the plate and get a punch from me? I mean, I'm glad to practice. If you have a beard, come and get it. We could do a scientific study right here, right now, and we could see, if that's the case.
Yeah, yeah.
We all know that. We all know the truth, man. I'm sure. Have you had a nice bushy beard in your life, Corey? Or is that how you rock? The
No,
short
no.
beard?
I keep it nice and trim. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, I
Housekeeping.
mean, one day, man, give it a shot, grow it long, and then I bet you'll know that it does absolutely nothing. It does shield from the cold though.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I'm up in Canada, man, so I know that feeling for sure.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, your third swing, kind of curious. You get to Vegas. Did they give you any like training ahead of time, or was like when you were up there in the main stage, those three swings, was that kind of the first time you're actually swinging against a live person?
Swinging to the extent that I wanted to knock him out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was definitely the hardest in an event for me.
yeah,
Um, but as far as slapping,
yeah.
I like I said, I used to go rounds with a buddy of mine and his friends. We used to go rounds, and I guess I got practice from that. But as far
Yeah.
as power slap giving us any sort of guidelines to practice with, no, it was literally all tossed up
Hmm.
in the air, and
Yeah.
it was done within like 2 months. They made it, they created it, everything was set up in about a 2 month time frame, I think. So
Nice. Yeah. So I mean, because I mean, obviously, like it seems that each slap that you threw, you got better and better.
yeah.
And so that's why I was just curious of how much practice you kind of had before, like especially with these rules, seems to be a little bit different in regards to slap fighting. Obviously with the different fouls and not lifting your feet off and the follow through and the clubbing and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
like, did that play a bit into your mind as well of not wanting to foul? And then your interpretation of the rules played where you played it safe in the early side, and then with every kind of every throw that you did, you kind of got a little bit more confident and put a little bit more into it.
Yeah, I think I was growing in confidence as the match was going on. It is good to know that you're able to take his hit. That does build confidence, and giving the hit in and of itself. You're right. I think I was a little tensed up in the beginning. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say nervous, but um, giving the first shot, you don't, like you said, you don't want to foul. I
Yeah.
didn't want to foul. I didn't want to hit him in the neck, or hit him in the nose or the temple or anything like that. I didn't want to be dirty about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my first one was more cautious than two and three. Whereas in my opinion, slap number two was better than three.
Okay.
But I think because Rob was more tilted than he was in those other rounds, it made it look better. But I think my second slap was the best. That's Rob told me that his jaw clicked and it was a bad one. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So I mean, his last attempt seemed to hit you a little bit higher, a little higher on the cheekbone. Um, walk us through that, and did that hurt more or less?
Well, at that point, I couldn't feel anything, man. I'll be honest with
Gotcha.
you. I was so in the zone that it was just pressure. It wasn't really a pain at that point, so it was just more force. I gave him a good one. I was like, good one, because yeah, he hit me up top. That's a foul. Unfortunately, everyone was so new and getting used to the game that a lot of things slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
And I can understand from the ref standpoint, the judge's standpoint. But yeah, it was just an overall war, man. I couldn't have been happier of how that match turned out. It definitely won over the audience, and it won over the bigwigs that supported. We're going to support this as well. So
Totally.
it was a big match, a historical match.
Yeah. So Rob gets awarded a unanimous decision. Did you agree with
Yeah.
that?
Um. I mean, I don't know. At the time, at the time when I was up there, no. I mean, I didn't really know how it went. So if he got the match, he got the match, and I was happy about it. I went up there, put on a show. After I watched it, I don't agree with it, no. But truth be told, I got a win bonus as well. They thought I won, and they thought it was a great fight. In my opinion, it probably could have been a draw,
Yeah.
because of the fouls. If you take the fouls into the play, it could have created a closer fight. Um, but I want a rematch. Get Wolf back in here. Let's fucking go. I'm ready for him.
Absolutely. I think the fans would love to be able to see that as well.
Let's go.
Um, so yeah, maybe hopefully the athletic commission can make that work. Be great to definitely see you guys square up toe to toe.
Actually, to add to that as well, and I'm sorry to
No
interrupting you,
problem. Yeah.
but I also thought there was two more rounds. Uh, at the event, they said that the main event card would be 5 rounds, but it changed. But I thought since I was the main event of the main event, that I was gonna get 5 rounds. And I looked at Herzog and I'm like, because I lined back up, and he's
Yeah.
like, "No, man, it's over." And I got mad. I'm like, "What are you talking about? I got 2 more rounds. Let's get it on, you know?" And
Yeah.
no, it didn't work out that way. So, hey, it ended up being the way it was, and I'm not mad at it. At least I got the money too. So
Yeah.
hey,
Actually, cool. Just a sidebar. Do you think they'll actually implement some sort of like instant replay to be able to go look back or challenge some of those fouls? Like where if you said, "Hey, I got hit in the neck," do you think they'd actually be able to go back and look at it, or does that kind of change the strategy of being able to recover too quickly?
I I am not sure because I don't know if they can institute instant replay with the speed that they need, because they really need to slow that down in order to
Yeah.
see where that strike is hitting. So the chalk that we put on our hands is basically, I think, the only way that they can tell if there's a club or not, because you wouldn't be able to replay fast enough for the match to keep on moving. But I see what you're getting. Could the coaches like come in and like throw in like a yellow flag or something and be like, "Hey, we need an instant replay"?
For
I
sure.
mean, that would be cool if the coaches came into play and could do that. I think that's something that they should look into adding in the future for sure. I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah, cool, cool, man. I mean, perfect segue. Obviously, Wolverine takes you with the first overall pick. How
Hell
do you
yeah.
feel about that?
Man, man, I even thinking about it now, it's so crazy to me, but
Yeah,
it's bizarre. But I was like, holy shit, man. The Wolverine just picked me first to be on his team. Wolverine is to me is an absolute legend. I say it all the time, but he's my slap hero, you know what I
mhm,
mean? He's the guy who I would watch over and over again and just be in awe. This guy, I thought there was a couple of times where I thought he was gonna lose, and he just came out and just hit with this incredible chin, and just the form of his slap. I could see there was something else. That people were able to be different than just
mhm.
people slapping each other. He put in a lot of effort and thought into it, and I was just glowing, man. I was on cloud nine, bro. You'll see me when he picks me, man. There's a smile ear to my ear, bro. I was just living it up, bro.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe one day you'll get to fight your legend. You never know.
Oh, yeah. We already talked about that, and
Cool.
it's man, that would be a dream come true. And he said it would be a pleasure for him too, and definite honor. And let's hope it does. And hopefully he has the belt, because he's got a date with the king, baby, if
For
he
sure,
does.
for sure. So over to the performance testing combine, I'm sure that facility is absolutely insane.
Yes, sir.
Through the testing, you end up in the human force test as well as a slap velocity test, ranking number one in both of those.
Yes,
Did that,
sir.
did that give you, more confidence going into the house, knowing that you were at the top of your game?
Well, I'm gonna be 100% with you. I didn't know that I was number one until that episode aired.
Oh wow,
So I knew I was up there, but I didn't know I was actually up there. A lot of guys were throwing around numbers themselves and kind of throwing me off, saying they hit 70,000 and this and that. And I was like, really? I was like, oh, cool. But I hit 50 blah, blah, blah thousand. And, little did I know those guys were just lying out their ass. And here
yeah,
I am sitting at top of the mountain. I'm like, what? And then I saw the episode, and everyone was like, wow. And I'm like, what is, and, it was just, that howler head was kicking in. And it was just a great moment for me, man, to learn that I was number one in those aspects. I'm
yeah.
also number one with my shoulder strength as well, but they didn't put my name up there.
Cool, cool. Did you see Brian Shaw, strongman, when he hit the cube?
Yeah. And see, in Brian Shaw's episode, I'll tell you something. First of all, Brian Shaw is an absolute animal. He is gigantic. I
Absolutely.
stood next to him one time at the Arnold Classic, and he is scary. But um, but he does need to work on his form. Brian, if you need any help, call up the big guy. We got you, baby. I'll get you in those high numbers. But in his YouTube video, I think his name is Schwen. He's the guy who runs the Power Cube machine.
Okay.
He even says himself that the highest was 56, and I'm like, man, that's what I hit. And I
Hmm.
and it started registering a little bit that maybe I was the highest, and then they confirmed it with the episode. Um,
Amazing.
yeah, but no, Brian Shaw hitting it for 52. I mean, that's really good. If he had a little bit more form, I'm sure he would hit. Who knows, man?
Out of this world.
Break the
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah, maybe you never know. Obviously, he's coming back one more time for one more year at Strongman, and then who knows what's going to happen. He's already announced he's going to retire after that, so maybe he's got a slap career ahead of him.
Oh, he's retiring after this one.
He is, yeah. This is gonna be his last year.
Brian Shaw is a maniac, dude. I love him. I love Eddie Hall too. And when they're
Yeah.
together, those guys are great. Yeah, that's maybe. Hey, if he comes to slap, I'll take him on. Let's go. I'm
Amazing, man.
crazy, brother. I'm
There you
crazy.
go. Calling Brian Shaw out. Brian, if you
Hey,
listen to
let's go.
this,
Let's
get
roll,
in
baby.
there.
Come on,
Make
get
sure
it
you
in.
request the King of Kings for your first ever match.
Hey, bring it, man. I mean, you're what, 6'7", I'm 6 foot, so you're gonna be aiming down, and I'm gonna be aiming high, baby. Let's roll.
Absolutely. So, I mean, after the whole experience, going back home, you guys had a bit of time off from March until December.
Yeah.
Um, you know, did you get serious? Did you change your training at all? Between there, like, did you actually dedicate and say, like, hey, like, I'm fucking good at this. Like, I'm gonna make this my career here now.
Yeah, I totally went balls to the wall, man. I was starting to do two a days. I was getting back into it. I called up my gym, Strong Style. I got a buddy, Mike Cly, who's he is one of the best trainers, but he doesn't really train too many people anymore. He actually just runs the gym, and he's a partner in owning the gym. I got him out of retirement, so he's helping me train at Strong Style again, like I used to, and yeah, it lit the fire, man. This is important. This is history. This could be something big. It's entertaining. Everyone that I know that has seen the show is got rave reviews for it. And yeah, if I weren't to take it seriously, I would be a damn fool. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I agree, man. I totally agree. So the initial rankings come up, posted on the wall in the house, and you're number 4. Above you, 2 coaches and an assistant coach. So, of the people in the house, you're ranked 4th, and you draw the number 5 in Dwayne, what's his name? Cresco, Dwayne Prespo, in your first matchup, December 14th. Obviously, that hasn't aired yet, so I'm not even going to ask you about that. But in regards to that initial ranking coming at number 4, how did that make you feel?
Well, I thought I was number one, my man. When I saw the rankings, I was kind of like, hey, what is going on here? Because hey, the three coaches, obviously two of them, personal legends, and the Bell, who is fantastic. He's a super heavyweight champion of slap fight himself. He's great at what he does as well, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they should be higher than me, but they haven't had a fight in power slap, so I thought me would be number one. And I could say and walk around the house, Conor McGregor style. But hey, you know what? It's okay because, like I said, two living legends in Darius the Destroyer and Wolverine. They both deserve it. I know. The Bell, obviously, an ex super heavyweight champion, so he deserves it as well. And being at number 4, uh, fine with me. I'll get to the number 1 spot in due time, baby.
Amazing, amazing. I'm just going to throw a curveball. You can just say pass if you can't answer it. But when you're in the house, how many days do you get between matches?
Um, I would say it was about a week in between.
Okay,
So we were 3 weeks in the house, and it was a week. Every week there would be fights.
amazing, amazing. So Power Slap, the first 2 episodes are out. Has had some negative press around it. I think it's overblown in regards to what's been said. But
Yeah.
where does the sport go from here?
Only way up, buddy. I think this is gonna go up. I think the people that are putting that into the masses' minds that this is a horrible sport, I think a lot of them are starting to turn around. And being that a lot of the people who are talking bad about the sport don't realize that there's a lot more that is involved behind the scenes, with the doctors being on site, and just how the rules are taking precautions to effectively make the matches more safe. But I think that the people at the top are starting to change their minds and see that this is something that could be a new sport, which, in my opinion, it already is.
Hmm.
It's been around for years. Um, but I think it's going to go up. I think people are going to turn around. I think all the people below them are going to turn their minds around. And I think we're all looking at stardom, my man. I think this is going to be huge. The live events, when you see this live, it's a whole nother dimension. You're just seeing it on TV right now. But
Yeah.
once you see this thing live and with a crowd, people going crazy, it's just electric, man. So I believe this is going to be huge, and I'm happy that you like it, Corey. Man,
Yeah.
having fans and being positive about it is definitely few and far between now, but it's very appreciated.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you guys did seem to have a live audience. It seemed like they brought in some, bloggers, media, some influencers and stuff in there to watch, some of those trials. How many people were there in the audience, and did you start to thrive off that energy?
To be honest with you, I didn't even know anyone was in the the audience.
Amazing.
They told me that they were, and I was like, cool. And then when I got up on stage, it was just I got this focus that I
Mhm.
just don't realize anything's around me. And you see me acting out and playing to the audience, but
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's kind of strange. But they had roughly, from what the producer of the show told me, that they had 250 people there.
Cool.
um, and a lot of them are friends and family of the UFC, and the doctors. The athletic state commission was there. People from God knows, like Monster Energy, the big wigs from
Mhm.
Endeavor, Dana, the Vertitas, Frank, the president of Power Slap. Frank is like the Dana White equivalent for Power
Yeah.
Slap.
Yeah.
He's a big role. That guy is awesome. Big shout out to Frank. He's putting this all together, putting his time in, and he's someone definitely to respect. He's a great guy. But yeah, it was just a hodgepodge of people, and it was cool. Yeah, man, they
Cool.
were fired up, and they helped me get fired up.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, trying to find Frank online isn't too easy. I mean, you put Frank's name into Instagram. There's like one photo from when he was like 18. Guy's almost a ghost.
Yeah, Frank is a lawyer as well.
Yeah.
He was the lawyer for the UFC before he became the president for Power Slap. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe he's
Maybe.
got the lawyer mind, and he's just taking it easy in the shadows.
Totally. Totally.
I know he needs to
In
come
terms
out. He needs to come out though. Come on, Frank, get a social media profile. Let's talk some shit.
Exactly. In terms of the health and safety protocols and stuff that they had in place afterwards, do you feel that it was adequate to be able to protect the fighters? And after that first match that aired, did you need any medical treatment or anything after that?
I did, yes. I actually the hit to the neck actually shut me down. And I did have to go for an MRI, and was scanned up. Do I feel that what the precautions they're taking is adequate? Yes, I do. There's other organizations out there that aren't doing any of what they're doing at all. No MRIs, no nothing. So for them to be doing and spending the money the way they are, because let's be honest, this shit is not cheap. So yeah, they're putting in every precaution. They treat me with huge respect. Everything that I need health wise, they're there for me. And I do believe that it can only get better from here. Also, right now, the with the rules, I feel that the refs and judges do still need to get better with
Mhm.
those, which could also imply to a more safer environment. And over time, they will. So I believe, once you get all these growing pains out, because we still even haven't had a live show yet.
Totally.
I think once we get over that, things will be as safe as they can be.
Nice, nice. So I did a little research on you, and it looks like you've got a chalk company coming out, but there's not a whole lot there. No pictures, just a little bit about the King of King. Is that actually happening?
Yeah, you can buy chalk. You can go
Cool.
on the website, theslapking.com, click on the link. There's chalk there for you if you want to slap someone and be a little colorful with it. There's red, white, and blue. So yeah, that's something. We other things in the pipeline, absolutely. I also have a podcast. I have the Barefisted podcast right here.
Awesome.
So you can go on YouTube, Twitch, find Barefisted Podcast, all social media at Barefisted Podcast. Twitter is at Barefisted Pod. But I got that in the works. Frank actually will be on the podcast, so keep an eye out for that as well. I'm sure you'd be interested to hear from him.
Amazing.
Yeah, and no, I mean, sky's the limit. Strike while the iron's hot, right? Let's see what we can do. And I'm a very business centric person. I'm a sales administrator for a large company. That is my day job. So I'm going to take every opportunity as I can and hopefully make something out of it.
Cool, man. Awesome. If people want to follow you personally on social, where can they do so?
You can find me at TKOKPSL on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And yeah, just come roll with the king, see the journey. Let's get that belt, bring it home to Cleveland, baby.
Awesome, man. Appreciate everything you do. I appreciate you joining me. I hope this is the first of many that we have you here for an interview.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing everything that you do in the future. I know coming up in March is going to be big. And yeah, you've got a fan in me and looking forward to your journey.
All right, man. Yeah, Corey, it's a pleasure talking with you tonight, and definitely, I'm actually excited to see how you grow as well, and I'm gonna see your journey. And yeah, I want to be on again. Hopefully, we can schedule something in the near future, and I'd love to be a mainstay for you, buddy. It would be great.
For sure. Appreciate it, dude. Have a great one. Keep training hard, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, Corey.